Hi guys, it's King Billy back with another Idle Heroes video. If you could like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you get more notifications for videos like this, that would be great. First thing I wanted to just cover off in today's video was Horus has basically just carried us through Steel Land number 10 on Shadow Faction, doing all of the damage there. The rest of the team not doing much. Took a few attempts to go through there, more than 10. I think I started trying to get through that yesterday or the day before. I did upgrade Jara a bit to level 100 there, just to get us through. I thought that was cool, because also that will... Let's just quickly try this one. I don't expect to get through this one. He's only A2 Horus, and the rest of the team's just food, basically. And Jorah's just a 5-star, so we'll see if we can get anywhere close on this one. You find with these bosses, you'll be doing fine, and all of a sudden you just get hit with a massive blow. Yeah, just die like that. So there we go. That's fine. I'm not really bothered about that. The main thing is that we got 1,000, whatever they are, colourful crystals, and that took us over 6,000, so we can just buy this. Woohoo! So I was broke on gems, so I went into, just off camera beforehand, I went into the Trial of the Champion, which opened. Just went in there, farmed a guy that I found earlier on. Where are we? Record. Sorry, I've got a bit of a sore throat at the minute, so my voice is a bit raspy. So I went in here. That's gone now. I farmed out a guy, and then obviously since then some people have been farming me. But it's cool. I just needed to get some gems out. So what's this one? During the event, log in every day. Yeah, okay. So I went in and I got my gems, my shards, my little universal crystals, glorious relics. So now I have a few gems, so 2,700. I've also got, where are we now? I've also got a bag. Yeah, so I've got all these kind of things here for the heroes, all the shards all the way along, all with the green bars below them, but this one I haven't got, which is just annoying. But they're 300 gems in the shops, there's no way I'm paying that. So anyways, it should be new event days. So this Mid-Autumn Festival is still going on. Just if you haven't checked in, you can go to the Drinks of the Moon, but you can still get your stuff out there for the next, what's that, I don't know, a few days, 69 hours, whatever that is. And then if you didn't spend the other stuff, if you didn't spend your cheese mooncakes and what have you, then sadly they're gone now. So let's hope you all spent your stuff there. Yeah, as I say, it should be a new event day. I got a new skin as well. Let's do that. I've never had that one. Well, I've never built Mickey either, but it's a cool skin. But whatever, it'll be food. I'll get rid of that. Go away. Okay. Red dots. Yeah, so not privilege. Cool events. Sorry, I'm half asleep. Cool events. So, there's a new Steam Fantasy skin for Horus. 4% damage reduce, 3% attack, and 4% block. It's a bit weird. It's like a robot. With like a little gauge on his arm. His wings are pretty cool. And his sword, it's got like a little light bulb on his head as well. So yeah, metal is harder than flesh. Just sometimes I need oil to ease the squeaking. Yeah, it certainly doesn't look as cool as his original skin, the bloody War God one. Let's just compare them. Skins. This one. So hopefully the Horus skins are together. I believe that's how it works. See if you see it, because I'm blind here. What should I get of Nikki? 2% attack, 4% block. Right, there he is. So the normal skin is this one, I think. So 3% HP, 3% attack, 5% crit damage, 4% attack, reduced 3% attack, 4% block. He gets the extra block. Could be good with the extra block. It's cool. So, as I say, looks wise, not as cool as that one, though, in my opinion. Yeah, we need to go back into cool events. So yeah, this week it is a wishing fountain event. You can complete it up to 4 times. Top prize there being a barrier. Shelter mission's got some pretty poor heroes and some pretty good heroes in there. Namely, good heroes would be Sigmund and Jorah. We'll go into that one in a bit of detail as well. I forgot to mention in previous videos as well, I did notice this was on, but I've just forgot to mention it. Grey Dwarf's Blessing's on. That'll be on for the 2 weeks there, like usual for you. Yeah, our fighters competition's obviously all done. Sweet. So yeah, looking at the events, value packages first. So if you're building Gustin after his release last week, there's a chance to get Gustin there if you have £99.99 to spend on that. You'll get 20 of the super chips, 150 normal chips, and you get the 5,000 gems and 5,000 experience points as well. If you wanted that new Horus skin as well, the Steam Fantasy, you can get that for £70, give or take a bit. You get 15 super chips, 100 normal chips, 3,500 gems and VIP experience along with that. And then you're allowed up to 2 of these ones for £50. For you get 2,500 gems and experience, 70 chips, 10 super chips, and for £10 you are allowed up to 5 of those. You can get 500 experience, 500 gems, 15 chips and 2 super chips. So there is your value packages. As I say, Wishing Fountain event is on. You can do up to 4 loops of this. One loop, if you're spending 10 chips at a time in the wheel, it only costs you actually 8 chips to do 10 spins. So you don't need 300 spins. You can just do it with 240 spins as long as you spend 10 spins at a time. Okay, so obtain 50 points. So you will get 2 profit orbs, 2 super wishing coins. Again, at 100 you will get the same. At 200 you will get again 2 profit orbs, and you will get double the amount of wishing coins. You get 4 wishing coins, and then once you reach the 300 points you will get the 2 profit orbs, the 5 glorious relics, and the Rhea as well. 5-star Rhea there is pretty cool. This warrior, pretty tanky PvE. We'll look at that in more detail in a bit when we go over the heroes. Yeah, so a lot of people I know don't really go in for the Wishing Fountain event, but for me personally, I buy my is it 8 you get, I think, every day in the marketplace. There we go. Yeah, so I buy 8 of those out a day for 240 gems. I think just when you complete that, it just gives you the profit orbs. And the profit orbs that you get from that will just help you to contribute towards the profit orb event. And you need 80 profit orbs to do that. So that's basically what they are really used for. If you think if you weigh out the cost to ratio, if you usually have to pay for these 500 for one, you're actually getting the right deal on the amount of super chips that the amount of wishing coins that you have to buy out. If the shop, it actually works out that you're getting a good deal on those, plus you get all the stuff that you get when you spin on the wheel as well. So not a bad deal at all. I'll just have a look. When's my next free summon? That'll be later today, my next free heroic summon, so I can do some stuff in here. What have I got on the wheel? 250k. Yeah, that's all right. So 184 at the minute. I've got to buy out every day basically to get to my 240 of those. We'll just do a couple of spins today. See if we can get some stuffs. Just for anyone who's new to this kind of thing, you might not know what you're doing here. You might be looking at the 5-star hero on the wheel. The chances of getting the 5-star hero on the wheel are very slim, 0.1%. So you'll have to do 1,000 spins, if I've mathed that out right, just to get a 5-star food. So that's not really what you're going for. The things you really want to get on the wheel is the 4-star shards, especially if it's getting a light or dark one. You want to get the kind of the armors as well out, especially if you're early to the kind of mid game where you're still needing a lot of armor to build up. And then the real thing that you benefit from here is obviously the gold. You get 3 amounts of gold depending on your level. So mine's 125k, 250k, or 375k, which you see very rarely. So I usually, if I go for 125k, if it's 250k, I'll just go for that. And if it's 375k, when the event's on, I'll just hammer it and get a load of gold out. The other thing you get out is a load of these to be used as food to upgrade your artifacts as well. That's pretty much all you're doing. And then obviously you want to get up to here, you want to get up to 8,000 to get the food hero on there as well. There are some food heroes for 10,000, but that's still just food, so I just go for the 8,000 ones. And I believe you get, I think it's 10 of these lucky coins every time you spin. So we're on 6,250. So if I do another 10, I should be on 6,350. Just to check. Okay. 6,350. Yeah, that's how that works. Yeah, pretty basic stuff there. Not the most exciting event, but as I say, you'll get your orbs, and then for the little bonuses, you get these super wishing coins as well. You can't use super wishing coins as part of the event to get your points. Okay, you can only use the normal ones to get points. They should really have an event with these super wishing coins, but at the minute there's nothing, and there's no signs of it coming around. So next one, shelter mission. On here, you basically, if you're not familiar with the process here, the light and dark heroes are different to the normal 4 factions, so we'll go over the normal 4 factions first. During the event, players can consume appointed heroes, gold and gems to complete shelter mission for generous reward. Each mission can only be completed once, so all you do, so for example, Sigmund's just had a rework recently, he's really good. Click on Sigmund. Another thing it's good for is it's going to put the hero in your bag, so that's one hero towards your heroic miracle further down the line, so keep that in your bag for then. You'll also, if you need, again as I say, if you need armor still to build up, it gives you 2 of the 4-star orange gear, so that's really good to have early on as well. And what you'll need to do is, so for example, Sigmund, he's a warrior, so to get Sigmund you'll need to have any 5-star that you've got who is from the Fortress faction, so you can use anyone there. And then you need to go in, because he's a warrior, and find 4 4-star warriors from the Fortress faction as well. And the similar rules will apply to everyone. So for Jorah, I don't know if I've got any. I've got none of those. Again, any 5-star from the Shadow faction for her, because she's a Shadow. And then you need to have, she's a mage, as you can see. So you need to have 4 mages, 4 4-star mages to go towards that as well. Demon Hunter, so Demon Hunter is Forest and is a Ranger, so similarly, any 5-star Forest hero to go in there, and 4 4-star Rangers. Kurim, he is an Abyss, I believe, an Assassin, yep. Abyss Assassin, so you need 4 Assassins, a 4-star Abyss, and any 5-star Abyss hero. Alright, so I mean, for me personally, I'm only really interested in Jorah. It'll be my 5th copy of Jorah, and I've just maxed out my mage tech, so that's cool. And I'll be looking to get Sigmund as well. I think I've only got 2 copies in my bag at the minute, but I used to have a Sigmund, I think at 10-star before his rework, and he was even cool at PvE then, and he's even better now, so I'll definitely be getting that. I can get him now, so let's do that. So I just need to use anyone. I will use 5-star first. I will use someone pretty pointless. Who's pointless? I think you're pretty pointless. I'll get 4 of these out. Who do I want to use? Stormhood, he's pointless as well, I think. Okay, so we use the Stormhoods. And that's it. So those are both in there. I don't really need the armor, but I do want that Sigmund copy, as I say, in my bag. And when you're sure you want to submit the task, consumer materials will not be returned. You click yes, and that's it. Boom, it's done. You've got your 4-star gear. You have a 4-star gear, and you've got your Sigmund. Okay. So that's basically all that happens with the normal faction heroes. The two, like the light and dark hero, is Sleepless, who's pretty much, well, he is just a food hero, I would say, for the dark faction. Not really worth the cost on these ones, which is 2,000 gems plus another 2 5-star dark heroes. And the same will applies with light heroes for the light hero. So sometimes you get a good hero in here that you might really need. Also, you might really need a light or dark hero to go in your bag, so make sure you complete the heroic miracle. But in reality, that's a very expensive cost for example, a Sleepless. And it's very hard to get the light and dark heroes anyways. So to use 2 to get 1 is, as I say, it's just really, if you need that hero really bad for the heroic miracle, you might want to do it, but personally I wouldn't recommend you do that one at all. Same with Gurky. He's a pretty poop hero, so I wouldn't bother doing that one either personally. And there's Gurky. He's a priest, but I wouldn't. It's not worth the cost. 2,000 gems plus 2, especially as I see he's not even one of the better light heroes. Same as Sleepless with the dark heroes. Okay, so I would not recommend you do that if you can avoid it. Look at the heroes in a bit. Again, it's very useful for anyone who's new to the game, kind of which heroes are worth having and which ones aren't, and what the kind of where they fit into the game and what they do. Grave Dwarf's Blessing is on, so it's basically just a chance to use the 4-star gear. So it works pretty well with the synergy here. If you get all the 4-star gear out, you could maybe upgrade that to 5-star for the cost of some gold and some gems. You can only do it once on each one. For me personally, you do have to unequip the gear first from your heroes before you can put it in here, by the way. So it'll say to me I can't do it, the forge button's grayed out, that's because all the stuff that I've got will be on heroes. But if you took it off them, you can go in here and do it. I would say it's pretty easy to forge up in the blacksmith. Just normally you can do the 4-star to 5-star gear. A place where it really comes in handy though is for, let's say, the 5 to 6-star gear is worth of the 60 mil gold and the 2,500 gems. And then at the bottom here, once you've got 6-star gear, like going in with your strongest heroes first and starting to get faction specific gear. So I think that's what it's called. So you've got the Oracle suit, which is basically to be used on your priests. And then you've got one for the ranger, the warrior, the assassin, and the mage there. So they're definitely worth doing if you've got the spare gold and gems. At this point where I'm at now, the gold's pretty easy, but gems, I just spent a lot of gems, like 9,000 gems in the previous video at the end of the Mid-Autumn Festival, just to get all the kind of upgrades there. So I'm pretty broke at the minute for gems. And that's basically it for the Grey Dwarf's Blessing. Straightforward stuff. As I say, it runs for 2 weeks, that one. The rest of the events are just for the 1 week. We will look at the heroes in just a moment there. I just wanted to look at one more thing first. So basically, if you weren't aware, what Idle Heroes did is they put up a voting poll. So you could go and remove one of 3 heroes from each faction who's currently in the Elite Shard pool. You can take them out of the Elite Shard pool. So these were the results. So from Horus, Demon Hunter got removed, and Karim from the Abyss faction. So interestingly, that they are no longer elite heroes, and you can get them in the shelter mission this week. And then Ice Blink was removed from Fortress, and Walter from Shadow. So I did used to have a Walter as one of my original team back in the day when it was, you kind of early on in the game, you kind of stuck with whatever heroes you're given before you can start choosing which ones you're building. And I used to use him alongside King Barton, just like a bit of a stun team. And it was all right for early game. It wasn't bad, but so those heroes are no longer in the Elite Shard pool. So I was interested to see how this would affect the odds of getting the other heroes that are going to be left in the Elite Shard pool. So this was beforehand. Now, I just thought it would be distributed kind of maybe evenly between the heroes that were left or whatever. I wasn't sure. But that's mainly what has happened. So that was the old odds for those and the old odds for this bit of the screen. So mainly 5% and 4.375s alongside your 1.43/1.42. We just refer to them as 1.43s. So interestingly, if you look at the top left here, you've got Kamath at 1.43. On the new one here, Kamath's not there. If you look further down, Kamath is on the left hand side in row 3. He's now a 5.625 chance. And next to him, you've also got Starlight. Starlight was a 1.43%. You can see her second in from the right on the second row there. 1.43% she was. So the other ones at 1.43s, they are now like 1.66 or 1.67. We'll just call them 1.67s. As I say, I've just had a quick kind of scan over it to see what's what. Oberon, where was Oberon? He was a 1.42. Alright, so yeah, everything's gone from 5% now 5.625, and I think that was 4.375 is now 5%. I think it's only Kamath and Starlight who have really moved. I don't want to spend too much time looking at it. So yeah, if you've noticed anything different, just leave a comment below. It's worth mentioning, by the way, that I was expecting a King Barton rework to come in today. It hasn't come in today, so I think it might just be on the Chinese tap servers this week, maybe, or maybe we'll get it later in the week, but most likely next week. And then there is going to also be a Kafuga rework coming after that one as well. It's been a little sneak peek there, okay. I have seen, I will post below in the comments section, the King Barton rework. To me, on first impressions, it looks a bit lackluster. It is, I mean, he's a good hero anyways, for PvP, so that's fine, but I think he's had some small changes here. He deals 210% attack, change to 310, I believe, and it was against backline enemies. It's going to change to the frontline enemies, so he's going to be hitting less enemies, but with more attack. Might be some more small changes. As I say, it'll be in the comments pinned for you. Also, he's going to have something new on this one called King's Protection, whereby he'll give like 10% damage reduced to each of his allies as well. And it doesn't stack. Okay, so there were the main differences, and the other two, these Heroic Charge and King's Demeanor, I don't think they change at all. Damage just done to targets. There might be something, but yeah, that'll be down below here, and we'll cover it off when it does actually get released in full. Okay, just want to go quickly over the heroes who are in here. So let's actually look at Berea first. Now, I know for anyone who's more experienced in the game, you probably already know your heroes anyways, but for anyone who's new, this will be a part of the video where you'll probably want to stay tuned in for. So Berea is a warrior. He's good for PvE, and he does more damage basically as the rounds go on. Okay, so Suppress Strike, we'll not go over it in too much detail, but Suppress Strike is the active skill. As I say, he does the damage against the frontline enemies. He deals the target extra 20% of the target's max HP, so that's why he's good at doing boss damage. The damage won't exceed 1500% of the hero's attack. He increases self 15% of attack and 15% of armor break. So as I say, things that he does is like armor break, I think armor reduction possibly, and as I say, he kind of scales up as the rounds go on. Each basic attack on there on the War Weaken 3 has a 100% chance to steal the target's 25% of armor for 3 rounds. So he's taking the armor down, stripping them down. The rest of your team can do more damage that way, as well as him doing more damage. Stat buffs there: HP 40%, attack 35%, armor is 40%. And violent attack 3. During the battle, he increases self 10% of armor break, 15% of crit, and 25% of crit damage per round. As I said, just getting stronger as the rounds go on. So that's Berea for you there. As I say, he's pretty decent for like a mid-tier hero. We had Jorah. Jorah's recently been reworked. Just to summarise her, she's a mage. And just to summarise, basically what she'll do is she'll deal the 235% of attack as part of her active skill, Evil Infestation. She does that against 4 random enemies, so it is random, but it poisons them for 3 rounds, and she deals more damage, 150% of attack damage per round. Meanwhile, a 25% chance to freeze them for 2 rounds and a 25% chance to petrify them for 2 rounds. So in theory, what that means is if you're hitting 4 targets, really, you should be giving one of them a petrify and one of them a freeze, in theory. Okay, so she freezes them, she does petrify them as well. She, on basic attack targets, the frontline enemies as part of Jorah's Temptation, deals 120% of attack damage, has a 100% chance to steal 20% of their attack for 2 rounds. So good to steal their attack and weaken them a bit. As I say, it's a 100% chance for the 3 rounds. Shadow of Night, so she's got, like, on her rework recently, she got some more buffs than what she had before. So now she has attack plus 20%, crit 30%, HP 25%, speed plus 40, and damage against those frozen and petrified enemies, which she will have frozen and petrified, as well as other people may have done. She gets plus 60% on those. Last one, Guardian Spirit. So when the foe's petrified, she restores self 250% of attack HP. So that's pretty decent for the self-sustain. Increases self 10% of attack for 3 rounds. Whenever the foe's frozen, restores self 20 energy and increases self 10% of attack for 3 rounds. So Jorah has always been considered a good PvP hero, and with the rework recently, even more so. So if you can get her from the shelter, or get her. Also, we've got Sigmund in here as well. Again, if you can get a copy of him, I'll definitely get him as well, as I've done there. So he's excellent in PvE. Recently also been reworked. Basically very tanky unit. He can take a lot of hits. He has an awesome counter attack, which you can use on all, I think on 3 enemies, is it? It says if attacked by enemies with armor lower than self, he'll counter attack. Cool, so anyone who counter attacks, he will deal damage to them, and you'll put the new thing is Searing Flame, which we'll look at. Yeah, his armor is the strongest in the game. His armor is 3171, okay, so it's strongest by a mile. So even if he's been weakened his armor, he'll still probably be having higher armor than the enemy, so he'll still do his counter attack pretty much. Alright, so yeah, he strips armor from the enemy, he weakens the enemy, and he also does a lot of damage to the enemy. As I say, specialises in PvE boss damage. So Flame Bombardment, as I say, is one of the good heroes, so we'll look at it in full. It deals 166% of attack damage against 3 random enemies, so usually, so bosses will have 3 enemies, so that's cool. Reduces the target 30% of armor and 30% of block, so he reduces their block down as well, okay. Worth mentioning on this one, he gets this precision as well, plus 30%, so if you don't know what precision does, it basically counteracts block. So as well as reducing their block, he's also got the precision as well. So he pretty much could strip down about 60% of the precision. So if they've got 60% precision, he'll strip it down to 0, basically. Strip the block down to 0. So that's pretty cool, because that means they can't block against anyone on your team. Deals the damage against 3 enemies, reduces the armor and block, burns the target by an extra 96% of attack damage per round for 4 rounds. That's decent. Inflicts 1 layer of Searing Flame. So Searing Flame is a one-off damage, be triggered when you stack 3 layers, which each layer increases itself 300% of attack damage. It's pretty cool. Someone said that they'd had him beforehand in a boss, and after the rework, and now he's doing like 100 million more damage. So yeah, he's pretty cool. I used to have him at 10 star. He was always good. I just when I got Penny, I didn't have any room for him in my team, so that was that. Burning Pain, each basic attack has a 100% chance to reduce the target 24% of armor. So there's that armor stripping again that we mentioned. It burns the target by an extra 80% of attack damage per round for 4 rounds. Increases self 80% of damage against burning targets. Again, doing the burns, so can fit well in his team that can burn. As I say, you've got to burn people like Valk, Kafuga, Flame Strike, I think. Yeah, so Lava Shield, armor plus 48%, attack plus 20%, HP 30%, and precision plus 30%. And then burning counter attack. So as I say, when he's attacked, he increases self 15% of control immune for 2 rounds. So always good to have some control immunity. If attacked by enemies with armor lower than self, Sigmund will counter attack, dealing 108% of attack damage and inflicting 1 layer of the Searing Flame. This one's slightly different, a bit confusing for me. So this one says one-off damage will be triggered when stacked 3 layers, with each layer increasing itself 200% of attack damage. This one says 300%. So I don't know if that's a mistype or if he has separate 3 layers for like a passive skill, and if that's one for the active. I'm not really sure. But either way, just get a copy if you can. This one was Karim. Karim's pretty much a food hero. I'm not going to go over him in too much detail. So Karim's an assassin. He basically is all right for, like, he has got a role early on in the game. If you need, like, I know Aspen Dungeon I think opens at level 80, but you can kind of carry it through Aspen Dungeon a bit if you haven't got a better hero. He's got a bit of self-sustain, a bit of, quite a bit of heal for himself there. It basically, the way it works, or the way it's meant to work, is that he kind of weakest of the pack. So as an assassin, he comes in there, targets the enemy with the lowest HP, deals the damage there, and restores self HP. So that's good, keeps him alive. That works with this one. So whenever a foe dies, so hopefully he picks them off the die, he increases himself 30% of attack. So he starts to get stronger as people die. He's got the attack and crit and HP boosts. And damage against 2 random backline enemies, heals self again there. Steals target's attack for 3 rounds, so that's good to weaken the target down a bit as well. Increases self 40% of crit damage for 3 rounds. So yeah, it gets stronger as things go on a bit. Not kind of on the same scale as what Berea does, but a bit of self-sustain, a bit, you can kind of carry himself through the rounds and pick enemies off. So good against multiple enemies, gets stronger as each one dies. Right, that's him in a nutshell, but generally for later in the game he'll just be food for you, but nothing to stop you building him up to 6-star, 9-star, whatever. Use him as food later down the line. Demon Hunter, she used to be really good, not so much anymore. She's a ranger. What does she do? So damage against all enemies, 50% chance to silence the target, so she can silence them. Control immune for 2 rounds, increases self 40% of damage reduced for 2 rounds. Yeah, so she was really good before I started playing the game, but I think it was like she was really good at the PvE, I think, and then she kind of they changed her or something. She went to like PvP or something. I don't know, before my time. But Demon Hunter too, so just the stat boosts for crit damage and attack. So she's just likes to hit hard basically. Whenever a foe dies, increases herself 20% of crit damage and 15% attack. So just hitting harder again when people die. Basic attack has a 75% chance to deal 200% of poison damage and has a 15% chance to silence the target for 2 rounds. So yeah, looks like let's see, a bit of CC there, so she can control the foe. So probably good for PvP. But again, as you get later into the game, she's definitely going to be food. She along with Crim's just being removed, as I said, from the Elite Shard pool by public vote. So that kind of tells you a thing or two. Now, looking in the Dark pool, there's only, 7, I believe, 10-star heroes and 6 10-star heroes in the Light pool. The only ones that aren't available in the Elite Shards for these ones are the 2 heroes who are on offer this week as the shelter. So that again tells you a thing or two. Sleepless, I mean, one thing you've got that looks cool on paper is he's guaranteed to resurrect with 100% HP after death. So he's got 2 lives basically, but he's weak, so he gets killed easy. Light and Dark heroes are very hard to build. So if you're going to build one Light or Dark hero, obviously it's up to you who you want to build, but I would say build the strong heroes. Don't build Sleepless, don't build Gurky, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail. As I say, if you want to read it in your own time, feel free to. But for me, I would say unless you desperately feel you're going to need that Light or Dark hero in your bag to complete Heroic Miracle, fair enough, but it's a very, very expensive cost at 2,000 gems plus 2 of your 5-star heroes that you already have in Light or Dark. It's just very expensive to get a hero who's the worst one in the pool basically. So yeah, I would not be going in for that. As I say, he does a bit of Petrify. He puts marks on which go off in 1 round. Restores himself 10% of HP, so a little bit of self-sustain on there, and comes back to life after he dies, but he dies easy. So Gurky, as you can see straight away, Gurky's a priest, Gurky's a healer. You can see straight away that's heal. It looks pretty good again when you read through it. He basically does a lot of holy damage. He can restore HP for 3 random allies there, and increases them 25% of holy damage. The Spring to Life, each attack restores his self HP and increases 20% of holy damage, I'm assuming just on himself, per round for 4 rounds. Holy damage plus 60%, attack plus 25, HP plus 20, crit plus 20. And the final one, the Self Cure, when taking damage restores self 40% of attack HP and increases 20% of holy damage per round for 3 rounds. So as I say, heals self, heals allies, gives himself holy damage, gives allies holy damage. And that's pretty much all he does. He's a pretty good looking hero, but again, he's the weakest one of the bunch in the light, and he's very expensive to get, and as I say, it's hard to build anyways in light and dark. So that'll be it really for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful, and if you could just please drop a like, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you are notified when the next video comes out. And that's it. I will catch you in the next one. Enjoy your weekends.